wanting to do right, come on, then everything else is going to be added. Then it says, yield yourselves unto God in verse 13. For those that just came in, we're in Romans chapter 6, verse 13. Yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead. Come on, once again, they're talking about y'all better wake up. Act like you have Jesus. Come on. So, God ain't no dead God. Come on, he's alive. And your members as instruments of righteousness. So now I allow God to lead me. I allow God to guide me. Even when it comes down to our natural, our physical life. Like that scripture began to say, is that in everything that we do, we need to seek God. It's okay for me to do this. It's okay for me to do that. When we begin to seek God in every area of our lives, and let me tell you, I have been one that did not do the seeking God first. Come on. But how many of you know is that, come on, once you learn once, learn twice. Hopefully you, come on, get it together. Come on. So, with that being said, is that we've got to seek God in everything that we do. All right? So, in that, it says in verse 14, yes, I thought you were trying to chop me. Verse 14, for sin shall not have dominion over you. Come on, because he gave us what? Power. Sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under what? Grace. What are you yielding your members to? I never did because I had, text me back, and I know Pastor had shared this many times before, but I remember my cousin, he was one, he yielded his member. At first he was doing good. He was in church, he was doing good, in the deliverance ministry, under Apostle Jennifer Preston. It's a deliverance ministry. Come on. Apostle ain't going to be playing with no demons. Come on, somebody. Either the demon going to have to cast out or going to leave the presence. Come on. So, at some point, he ended up, with us moving up here and then everything. And so he ended up, always playing video games that was just demonized. And just a whole bunch of he was just one that he even started to hear voices and stuff. What you yielding your members to? Come on, he began to yield his members to what? That which was wrong. Them wicked, them demons. And if you talk to demons, the demons gonna talk back. Come on. You play the Ouija boards, it's not even called a Ouija board. What is it called? Ouija boards. Ouija boards. You play these things, come on. What you think gonna come from it? Come on. Witchcraft is real. And I should have brought my study on that because I could show you y'all the scripture. Thank God for pastor. That stuff is real. Come on. You entertain thoughts of saying that you know good and that you'll never be and that you'll keep making mistakes. Come on. Well, what you think gonna come from that? You ain't gonna be no good. You gonna keep on making mistakes. You gonna keep because you what? We are spiritual beings. Come on, God has made us spiritual beings. If God can speak the world into existence just by the word, what do you think we can speak in our own lives? Come on. He gave us that same power. And so we got to now walk in it. So he was one, he would, give into, hearing voices. And one day the voice told him to kill we call her auntie, but she's not really our auntie, but kill one of the evangelists in the ministry. And then, come on, he yielded to it. Come on, and so we gotta be careful because the enemy will drag you somewhere that you don't want to be. Come on, he'll have you in a situation that you would think, man, how did I get here? Come on, wake up. You think it's a Twilight Zone, it ain't. Come on, this ain't no movie. Come on, this ain't no commercial. It is definitely not no episode. It might feel like an episode. Some episodes can get a little long. Come on. So, come on, but we got to make sure that, come on, Lord, help me not to entertain those things that's not of you. So, we got to yield our members as instruments of righteousness unto God. Now, verse 14, for sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. Come on, you're under grace. And when I began to think about that in the Old Testament, is that when they're talking about that law, and I think that's the law that you're referring to, the law of Moses, is that was like a bound against the next. It was something that just held them, I want to say, what's that word that starts with the C? Not covenant. It was a cloak It was something that when Jesus said there's no condemnation, it condemned them. That's what I'm trying to look for. The law, and no, that's what the Pharisees and the Sadducees, different ones, they were condemning the people if they didn't do what they were supposed to do and all that stuff like that. So now God says, now look, I bring about grace. When Jesus died on the cross, he began to fulfill that law. Come on. Now there's grace and there's mercy. And that's why Paul had to continue to tell them, must we continue in sin that grace abide? No. Come on. There is still what you got to follow and the things that you got to do. Come on. So, in verse 15, does anybody have anything to say on that? Okay? Verse 15, he asked them again, what then shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. Verse 16, know ye not that to whom you yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death, or of obedience unto righteousness. This is something that he had to continue to emphasize to the Romans. He had to continue to tell them. And I want to go to Romans chapter 12 and 2, and it begin to talk about how we are not conformed of this world. Come on. We might be living in this world. Come on, we are what they call sojourners. We're pilgrims. Come on. We're just making a little pit stop so we can get to our final destination. Okay? Is it just a little pit stop so don't get comfortable? Come on. Oh yes, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening, okay? Come on. Don't lay your treasures up here on earth. Come on. Because it's materialistic. Okay, it's a vapor. I love that when they began reading Ecclesiastes, how your life is just a vapor. It's here, but then it's gonna be gone. Come on. I don't know if I read the Bible, but it's kind of like your life is like grass. Come on, 1 minute you're growing, but then you cut that thing off, and then what? Come on. Come on. So we gotta make sure our life is a vapor. So in 12 verse 2, it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. How they say you're not doing you have to be transformed, completely changed. Transformed by the renewing of your mind. I have to do the things that I need to do in order to stay changed.